I am 10 feet from the stop sign. Am I going to brake more or less than if I'm 20 feet from the stop sign? The closer I am to the stop sign, the more I brake. The farther I am from the stop sign, the less I brake. And so this does not matter how fast I'm going. If what I'm measuring is how far I am from the stop sign, that is all that matters. And so as the error increases, the response increases. And it's proportional. The response increases proportional to the error. So an example of this in real life is a pendulum. So is the force that's pulling the pendulum down like more here or more here? Right. So if my goal is to get the pendulum to stay in the middle, there's more torque pulling it downwards from gravity if it's farther from the middle than if it's like here. So proportional control works the same way. An example of where you might use this in real life is if you're shooting a basketball. So if you shoot a basketball and it goes 5 feet in front of the rim, what's the next thing you'd try? Shoot it harder, right. So if your error is greater, you're going to shoot it harder. If you miss it by just an inch, you're not going to change how much you shoot by. So that's the idea behind proportional control. Integral control is a different thing altogether. Integral control adds up the error. Good to see you too. In order to conserve battery, you might want to turn it off just for now.
Okay, at least I know that.
I know where's that. Oh, the
So if you click on Edit, Dan, in the top right, now it should have the thing loaded, right? Yeah, it has the extension loaded.
Does everyone know? Oh, they're working.
If you just want to pair up with a friend who has it ready, then that would be, you could also do that. And then you could share the same, you could have your own robot, but share the same microbit program. It's not working?
No. It's got.
Oh. So it will drive. I probably should say that. If you download the program and then turn on the robot, it will start to drive. So, oh no, it won't. No, it won't. No, that doesn't do anything anymore.
Also-
That doesn't even do anything anymore. But all the values are set to 0. That's why it won't.
Ah. I was wondering, it seemed a little.
Well, you gotta, yeah, but I don't, you gotta see if the ultrasonic, did you do any, can you do some basic, see if they can read the ultrasonic? I don't know.
It should just work. I'm like,
Right, well,
I'm
that's
like,
if the microbit works, if
Okay.
everything else works. you
well then
gotta-
I would expect some people to at least work.
I don't know. What's that? Alright, so I think you can, if you, so, if they just download this code, then it will work, potentially?
Yeah, but it won't drive yet. It won't drive yet.
If you hit the download.
Okay, when you're there, I'm gonna explain what it's gonna do first.
Alright, so maybe wait till Cam tells you what the download button.
Okay. Even if you're not there yet, I'll just do this while some of you guys are finishing up. So what this is gonna be is a rocket car. This car has a rocket engine on the front and the back of it. And my goal is for my rocket car to move 10 meters, and I'd like it to stop at 10 meters. I would not like it to go any further. So, can someone remind me what proportional control is? That's right, it's directly related to the error. So, in this current stance, what is my error? Someone other than Tenmei, what's my error?
10 meters?
Not you either. Okay, my error is 10 meters. My set point is 10, and my current state is 0. So my error is 10 meters. So if my car is at 1 meter, is my response going to be higher or lower than if it's at 9 meters?
Higher.
Why? Someone else. Why is my rocket engine going to have more thrust at 9 meters than it will at 1 meter? That's right. So based on this, with just proportional control, when will this rocket engine turn off? When I get to 10 meters, this rocket engine will turn off. When will this rocket engine turn on? When I've moved past 10 meters. So what this means is that my car is going to get to 10 meters, and my rocket engine is going to turn off. What is my car going to do? It's going to keep rolling. Nothing is stopping it. So I am going to roll straight on past 10 meters and do the complete opposite thing with the other engine. So this is what, if there's no friction in these wheels or something, then this is what proportional control will do. It will oscillate. It will go back and forth forever, and it won't stop if there's no damping. So that is what you guys are going to see. So what I want you to do is, in the left column of the block code, set the p-value to 15, and then download the code to the microbit. Oh, and after you do that, when you flip the on switch, it will start driving. So just be prepared for that. And you should take your box and set it up like a wall, and you're going to drive towards the wall. You might want to disconnect your cable.
Just trying to back up. It just needs a second.
Disconnect your cable.
Ultrasonic on the back.
Oh no, I didn't eject it properly.
Oh no.
Okay, your batteries might be low.
Surprisingly well.
That sounds right.
Well, I want it to oscillate.
Oh, okay.
And depending on battery level, it will oscillate differently.
Yeah.
He is oscillating now. Okay. That's what I would like.
It doesn't let you turn it straight on.
Okay, I changed my mind. Set your p-value to 50. 50.
I think that might have just been dumb luck that I did that.
Oh, there should be a microbit file.
I feel like might be just enough friction.
Those wheels have so much friction, so that really, like, I won't be able to show a full demonstration of PD. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's what it was doing in my house, but I guess. The other thing is that if the response is too low, it won't actuate, but then one of them will inevitably actuate before the other one, so it just turns. Not helpful. Let's see it. See how your rocket car is moving back and forth?
Yeah, it was, but then it stopped.
So in that one, there's no friction or anything, but in a real system, the wheels have a lot of friction that kind of prevent it from doing that.
We got it running.
You need to unplug your cord.
Did you drag and drop?
So if you set your p-value higher, it will start to oscillate. Set it to 50.
I don't think it registered that you did. What? There's an entire loading screen. Did you guys know we did micro bits in class? We did. That was like a month ago. More than a month ago.
No, you don't.
Is yours oscillating?
It's just driving forwards.
Mine is. Take the thing off the sensor.
Yeah, that's the sensor. You're like me driving into the stop sign blind.
Mine is.
You're oscillating? Okay, good. That means your batteries are probably alive. You're going to need to put a box there or something to act as a wall.
It stopped.
Is anyone moving?
Yeah. You need to unplug it first, and then turn on the switch. Oh, and you're going to also need to take the tape off of your eyes.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Wow.
See how it's oscillating back and forth like the rocket car?
Yeah.
It tried.
I think your ultrasonic sensor is cooked.
Okay.
It's wiggling around like crazy. I think their sensor's broken.
Yeah, it probably is.
Take a different microbit. Working? Yeah, it doesn't know what to do. It has no idea.
It's like, what do I say to him?
Yeah. What's happening?
I don't know. He's tweaking out. He's moving. We're trying to make him stop. It's like,
So the only way to make him stop is to turn off the power, unfortunately. Yeah, that was an oversight by me.
oh, also,
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
The battery case is like not attached.
Okay, let's just use a different one. Try this out.
Take the USB back. Zephyr, take the batteries.
Oh yeah. Oh, grab it. I think you need your batteries. Let me grab the. We'll just take them out here and I'll put the cord in. There you go. It's oscillating? Nice.
I have not read I hear that Anna Karenina is a better one to start voice with than I read like the first 2 pages of Anna Karenina. It was good. It was. Oh, have you read? Oh, War and Peace is much longer. Have you read One Day in the Life of Alexander Denisovich? It's so good. It is about as late as any literature.
So now take the box and put it in front of it like a wall.
Oh, have you read?
Wall. And now unplug your thing, unplug your cable, and now turn on the microbit. And it will start to drive right away. So
That's kind of fair.
Be alive.
I mean, I'd say
you guys might be unlucky twice.
and then old man's.
Ooh, that's yours. Means that whatever error is there, it's going to have a really aggressive response. And so you end up overshooting. It's called overshooting. You go past your set point, and you oscillate back and forth. But on the other side, you set your p-value too low, and you ended up where you wanted to be, but it was really slow. And when you have 2 minutes and 15 seconds for a match, right? Okay.
We do not want that.
You don't want that. You want to be as fast as you can. So that is what proportional control is, and the reason why after a long time it eventually stopped when the p-value was set to 50 is for some other reason, which we will talk about later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you integral control. So what I want you to do is set the p-value to 0 and set the I value to 0.03. So I think you may have removed the block. So go.
No, look.
I think your I block is missing. So you were right. You were right. Set the p-value to 0. And now can you go here, variables, and then set and drag that out and put it somewhere. Yep, that's good. And then change that to I, and set that to 0.03. And I want you to do the exact same thing. Download it to your robot, put the robot down, and then start it and see what happens.
Oh, wait.
Wait, I forgot which one is it like? Excuse me, sir.
What's happening?
I don't know. Excuse me, sir.
So some of you guys might be wondering, you might be thinking about, okay, I've turned on my robot, why isn't it moving? And you should maybe think about why your robot takes longer to move.
That makes sense.
When it runs into this, leave it for a second.
So bad for him.
Whoa.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, these ultrasonic sensors suck, but the idea was that after a while it would start to move backwards because
I think mine's just stubborn. I think mine's just stubborn.
can you hold this?
Yeah.
Integral control.
Mine was putting my box still on the same leg.
It was like half on, half off of the ultrasonics, and I don't know how it handles that.
Okay, wait. Now mine is speeding up. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, yours is working very well. What's going on?
An issue. So he will tend to go up against the box and then not move.
Okay.
Continue trying to go
Marathon.
That's curious. Maybe we'll learn about that in a second. Integral windup. Okay, why don't you guys go ahead and shut those off?
Like I was just like, nope, not gonna listen to some stupid code.
So someone tell me one thing you noticed about that experiment. Yeah.
Like once my guy got moving, it was not slowing down.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Yeah, because I like set the box like directly above him, and he was pushing it.
Interesting.
Why was he pushing it?
Okay. Try to move through the box. I'm looking for one more thing. What happened right when you turned it on?
It did not work.
It stood still for a while. Now, think about what I said before about integral control and tell me why you think that happens. Not you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because like the error like builds up, but it's like not.
That's right. So the error builds up over time. The response was equal to t, the amount of time duration, times the error. And you add that up over time. And so over time, your I term grew and until it grew to a point where it would drive. So think about this. Let's say my rocket car is using integral control. And at the start, I'm 10 meters, I have 10 meters of error. And I start building up over time, and my response gets really large. And so I start moving forward. What might happen here? What does not with the car, what does my thruster do when I'm at 10 meters?
Start slowing down.
That's right. It starts slowing down, but it doesn't stop. It starts to slow down. And the reason is because even though I've traveled to my set point, the integral term, which has been adding up that error continuously, still has some response. And so it tries to go straight through. And that is something that you will see in FRC, and it is called integral windup. And that means your integral term has grown so big that it can't correct itself. And it's responsible for overshoot. So I have an example, which is kind of a dumb example, but it
Also, that's spelled wrong. Integral, not integral.
wait, there's no sound. Okay, this is a dumb example, but this is a good example of integral windup. Oh.
That still happens when you work.
All right, this is a dumb example, but it is a good example.
I remember that scene.
So that is exactly what integral windup is doing. Lightning McQueen wants to get out of Radiator Springs, but he's stuck there for a long time, and he's like, wow, I really want to leave. And as soon as he gets free, his integral term is so large, has so much error accumulated, that he flies off. That is what integral windup is. So think about where you might see this in FRC. So have you ever noticed that on some teams' robots, this is something you might have noticed, in autonomous, sometimes a robot will go flying across the field. And if you watch the replay, you might notice that they get stuck somewhere for a while before they do that. So let's say they get stuck on a scoring thing. They get stuck on a scoring apparatus, and they're trying to drive through it, but they can't, which means that their error is growing and growing and growing. And when they finally get set free, they go flying across the field. That's an example of somewhere where you could see this. Another thing that has probably broken our arm in the past is, let's say I have an arm and I would like it to move, I'd like it to swing nicely through, like this. But instead, there's a bolt sticking out here, and so my arm gets stuck. And over time, the error grows and grows, and then snap, because the force gets too much. That's another example of where you might see this in FRC.
And also like too much torque on like an axle.
That's right, because over time, the integral term builds up until it can bend the axle. I think we're going to skip this. OK, so when you're tuning PID for FRC, there's like a recipe that they give you. And there's some steps, and they don't really explain why. So we'll go through why, and then why it's bad and why it should be changed. So they say to keep raising your p-value until small oscillations occur. Why do they say that? Why do you want to increase your p-value? What? You'll get to your place quicker. That's correct. The higher the p-value, the more aggressive your response is. Why do we want to stop when small oscillations start to occur? OK.
Because if you keep increasing it, the oscillation can get bigger and bigger until they damage something.
That's right. So that's called the system being unstable. So the larger your p-value is, if you start having those oscillations, if you keep increasing it, you're going to have bigger oscillations. And they say to slowly increase the d value by really tiny amounts until the oscillations go away. Now, I know that we haven't talked about the derivative portion since the start, but can someone remember what increasing the d value does? That's right. It helps to prevent overshoot. So it helps to prevent overshoot. So I have my pendulum again. And if I was just doing proportional control, like if gravity was just doing proportional control, my pendulum would just keep swinging back and forth. But let's say, same thing in grandfather clocks. So let's say instead, I'm going to squeeze the top of this. And me squeezing the top of this is acting like derivative control. So now when I go, there's a lot of friction, and so I can ease it in, and I don't overshoot. So that is why they say to slightly increase the derivative control. And I didn't like squeeze it, because then it wouldn't move. But that is how something like that can work. And then they tell you to not change the I value, which is very interesting. And in a lot of cases, it's true. Like proportional and derivative terms are enough to control your system. They're at least enough to make your system stable. But there are some situations in which you really want to use integral control. And so we're going to talk about that. So why do you want to use integral control? It comes down to something called disturbance. Disturbance is any outside forces that affect your system. So the principal example of this is,
Terrible FRC carpet.
Yep, that's right. Let's say I have a car, and I have two surfaces. That's my car. Say I have a car and I have two surfaces. And if I press my foot halfway on the gas pedal, I know I'm going to speed up to 30 miles per hour on flat ground. If I press my foot halfway on the gas pedal on a hill, am I going to go 30 miles per hour?
No.
No. And that's what disturbance is. That's an external force that's affecting my system. And they have, air resistance, gravity, all of those are forces that are hard to determine how they're going to affect your system, but they are. And so
And also the texture.
that would work too. So like carpet, if the carpet's slippery, then that would be a texture that would affect your system.
Yes, and then also like the amount of gunk that gets into the wheels of the robot.
Right, so friction on the gearboxes. So let's say I'm driving up the hill, and I know that I'm trying to go 30 miles per hour, but I'm only going 20 miles per hour. So my set point, I'm going to erase my rocket car. My set point is 30 miles per hour, but I'm only going 20 miles per hour. What will my proportional term do?
It would just try and keep increase. It would just keep like at the same speed.
That's right. It would keep the same effort. My error is not changing. So the proportional term is P times the error. So if my error is not changing, my proportional control is not going to help me in this situation. Think now about what about derivative? Will my derivative control help me in this situation, and why?
It would not.
There's no rate of change.
Right. The rate of change of the error is 0, so there's no derivative term. And so I'm going to keep going up my hill slowly.
Plus you press on the gas more.
That's right. But if I am going 20 miles per hour at 0 seconds, I could use integral control to maybe have a different response at 5 seconds. Does that make sense? So with integral control, I see my error, and then the longer that I'm still going 20 miles per hour, the more that integral control will try to catch me up. So after a certain duration of time, I will end up caught to 30 miles per hour. And that's a situation where integral control is really helpful, because I cannot do that using just PD control. So what about for an FRC elevator? You have, if I'm trying to push this on solid ground, I can get this pretty much to where I want to. And you'll see this in FRC too. Things that are moving linearly, typically you can get by with just PD control. But what happens if I try to lift this in the air? Now this is harder. I don't really know. I know how much mass my box has because I was just pushing on this table, but now gravity is affecting me. And so if I try to use the same amount of force to lift up my box, I'm going to find that I'm not going to get there. And so over time, having an integral controller would help me get to the right spot. And then the other principal example of this is, let's say I use my PD control and I would like to end up right in the middle of this table. I'm going to walk to the middle of that table. And I use my PD controller and I overshoot. And so I actually end up like here. My PD controller says, you're done. And I can't do anything. But over time, if I see I'm a little bit off, integral control will help to recenter me. And so we're going to review some film.
This is kind of like discounting workshop.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Team 1100 is in the bottom right. That's us. And I want you to watch what happens during this autonomous.
Behind the line, in 3, 2, 1, go! It's match number 6 here in the lower bracket in the Sausage Division. 1. 1, go! It's match number 6 here in the lower bracket in the Sausage Division. 1.
So what do we do?
We approached the reef,
Mm-hmm.
then realized we were in the right place and slowly got to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
We're close to it.
So we approach the reef, and then we think that we are in the right spot. And we were not. Our PD controller thinks that we are in the right spot. And so we release the coral and it falls to the floor. So some reasons why this might happen. Well, I guess one reason why this might happen. Did I leave my expo marker somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Let's say we are driving up to the reef and our goal is to get to the center. Actually, no, that's not our goal because the things are not in the center. Our goal is to get right here. And we drive up and we get to here. Is our robot going to stop on a dime?
No.
No. So we've got to the set point. We see that the QR code is right in front of us. And we say, okay, we're done.
The code is not directly across us. It's to the left. It's to the right.
Even if we were there, same deal. If our PD controller says, okay, we're done, but our robot keeps rolling. And so now we're a little bit off. And if we were using integral control, how would that help us?
We would correct ourselves.
And would that be an instantaneous correction? Or
No, it would be like, oh, I'm a little bit off.
that's right. And it would take the longer you're off, the more it would try to correct itself. Now I want to look at one more clip. This is not related to integral control, but this is like a final exam. Try to guess, or not guess. Tell me why something bad happened. Oh my gosh.
Enter.
Okay, now we are in the bottom left.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go! From that, round 1 of the playoffs comes to a close here with match number 4. Our final 2 alliances competing out here for the first time. Autonomous control ticking down 3 seconds left. 2 red machines heading back to their alliance station wall. Similar score.
So what was wrong? What happened? Yeah. What happened with the robot? Right, we crashed into the reef. Yeah, we crashed fast into the reef.
Which causes us to bounce.
So if I told you that this was using only a proportional controller, can you tell me why that happened?
It's like when it thinks that we are in the correct spot, but we're actually not, because
Let's say we were in the correct spot. Let's say we got it right, and we did navigate to the correct spot.
Our D term isn't big enough.
That's right. So remember with the rocket car, when we got to 10 meters with proportional control, we kept going, right? Well, with the robot, we get to our set point and we say, okay, we're done. But our robot is in coast mode, so it keeps moving. Now, what we really wanted to do is we really wanted to stop on that set point, right? Because if we stop on the set point, we know exactly where we are, and we know that we're in a good position to move forward. Instead, we got to the set point still rolling, and so we ended up coasting into the reef. How would a derivative term help us in this situation? That's right. It would have stopped us from overshooting. It would have slowed us down as we got to the set point. So that's another example of how incorporating more than just a proportional term can help us in FRC.
first score was actually pretty good because the eye came in pretty handy.
So you're right. The
But it was
difference,
second one that
yeah.
not, like, kind of saw.
So the difference between those two was that we had another set point to reach after on the first score. So after that, it decided to start going to the next one. On the last set point, it didn't have anywhere else to go, or time ran out. I think time ran out. And so we reached our set point, still rolling. Okay, and then this was the last. This is the last thing, which was get your robot to not overshoot. Which this is the last thing. So if you want to stick around and try this out, you can. You should start with these values, and you should try to. What you should try to do is get your robot to stop the fastest it can, come to a complete stop. Other than that, that is all I had. So I'll like stick around and help you guys out with like getting this to actually work. But that is the presentation part.